College tuition is skyrocketing and out of reach for many. So coming up next, Business Report producer David Weir looks for a solution to this dilemma when he talks with J.J. Greene, who runs a Boca Raton firm that can make college affordable. Dave asked J.J. what his college plan was all about.
Well, college planning, PhD, is about helping families figure out how to plan, prepare, and pay for college in the most efficient way and to make it affordable.
To pay now, with the way things are going, four-year education at a top school is just astronomical.
Yes, on top schools around $250,000 for a four-year education.
Oh.
And our state schools about $100,000.
Yeah, and you walk out with a sheepskin and you can't get a job, right? So you know, it's a very sad commentary, but hopefully that will change. All right, when our economy gets a little bit better.
Yes.
But what is the first thing that you usually advise a family about college planning?
Well, the first thing a family needs to know is to figure out what their expected contribution will be. It's called EFC, Expected Family Contribution. And every family needs to know today what they will be expected to pay towards their student or their child's college cost. And it's a government formula. So once they can compute what they're expected to pay based on their income and assets, then they have a target of at least what their responsibility or share of the cost is going to be. And then at least they can take a step towards planning towards it. But they need to know that immediately to know what they're expected to cover.
And do you help them with that?
Yes. And even though, like you said, the cost of some schools has a retail price tag, whether it's $60,000 or $40,000 or $20,000, at the end of the day, that's not what we're going to pay for college. That's just a retail sticker price.
I got
and
you.
Nobody pays retail, we know that, right? At least not in my world.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is to figure out and to know which schools have money to give you, what that school is going to expect you to contribute, and then you can set up a plan. So the first thing you need to know is figuring out your cost and then set up a plan so you can afford it comfortably without having to sacrifice your lifestyle, give up monies from your retirement, or just pay for it in the best advantage.
Well, do some of these schools have scholarship funds and financial aid available?
Yes, there's two types. There's merit aid, which is based on our students' abilities and academics, and that's called scholarships. Then there's need-based aid, which is based on financial need, and that comes in the form of grants. Yeah. And there's plenty of scholarships and grants out there, and every school is different as to how they dole those out. Okay. So again, we must know which schools we're looking at, which schools can help us, and there are schools out there that are very generous. So we need to know that so we can plan appropriately.
Okay, you know, Ivy League schools, you know, astronomical price tags on a four-year deal. Do these guys like at Brown and Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, stuff like, do they have financial aid available?
Yes, they do, and they do not do any scholarships as far as academics because all their students are expected to be top quality. Okay. So they use all of their funds for need-based families, families that have students that are exceptional but may not have the means to be able to afford that price tag. Yeah. So they donate all their monies more towards financial need. So they'll help the families. They want the best students, and if you can't afford to pay for it or have them plan for it, then they will assist you.
Okay, so it behooves the parents to put the hammer at their kid to say study or you're not going to be able to make it in college, right?
Well, student preparation is one side of it, and yes, the better our student does, the better the opportunities, the better the school selections, and usually those schools have more money and more aid to help with.
Okay, give me an example of one of the students, like you mentioned, went to Northwestern. What happened with that thing?
Well, that's a student of ours that went to Northwestern. Her family is financially challenged, but Northwestern is one of those schools that wants the best students, is willing to pay for the difference if the family can't afford. Leslie Clark is who you're referring to. She's getting ready to graduate Northwestern, and over the 4 years of her being there, we've received for her, she's received $215,000 in grants and scholarships. So on the average, it's cost her family about $5,000 a year for her to attend Northwestern.
Oh, that is terrific. And you helped guide the family through the...
Well, we did the whole process for them to get everything that they needed.
Jesus, that's terrific, JJ. Right. I mean, you know, you know, your service is almost invaluable to a family trying to.
It's priceless. But again, those are families that are in financial need. There are other families that are middle class, and they're going to pay, but not retail. But
Yeah.
they're going to pay usually about 40 to 60% of that retail price tag.
Well, it's still, you know, a big chunk, you know, even if you're making 6 figures a year and you're coming off with 30, 40 right off the top and you don't get any tax advantages, you know.
Exactly.
That's a pretty big hit.
And that's why families need to learn how to prepare and start saving earlier. It's easier to save a little bit of money for a long time than it is to save a lot tomorrow. So they need to start planning earlier, figure out how to save, the right ways to save, how to protect their assets so that they are prepared if their students do get into those schools and want to attend them.
Okay, I'm going to put your website and telephone number up on the screen right now in case anybody wants to have more information. I'm sure the initial visit is no obligation.
Right, we do a free or complimentary consultation to analyze their position and see if there's anything we could do to assist them.
All right, that's correct. That's great, JJ. I really appreciate it. And on behalf of the South Florida business community, I want to say thank you for what you're doing to help our community and our kids get into college.
So thank you, and to make it affordable.
Yes, and absolutely to make it.
I understand you were thinking about going back to school. Huh?
I have to sell my soul to pay the tuition.
We'll help you out.
Yeah, all right. Thanks a lot, Judge.
My pleasure.
All right, stay with us. We'll return right after.